Good evening, everyone, and how are we doing on this Tuesday? What a week it has been, and we're only 2 days in. Very exciting stuff going on. See all the busy work you guys are doing, and I don't mean busy work as in you're just doing work to look busy. I mean you guys are at it. You're hitting it hard. You're getting after those goals. You're hitting those milestones, and you are working to advance and excel. So just want to do our quick evening check-in, see how you guys are doing, and where I can help. We're going to continue on our discussion this week about being an efficient leader and an efficient communicator. So, as we kind of discussed earlier, right, we're talking about, just being transparent in your messaging and who you are as a leader and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, right? You got to make sure everyone's informed, but you can't be wasting their time and blasting out unnecessary information or too much information. Uh, you know, Sometimes there is a thing as too much information overload. So you got to be careful with what you're putting out and how often you're putting it out, right? And that's not to say don't withhold information because that's even worse. Not putting information out there and withholding the information and not getting it to the group, the team, the organization, that's probably worse than information overload. But you just want to make sure that you have the proper channels in place, that you are getting the message out there when it needs to get out there and what's relevant, and keep it concise and keep it short, right? Get to the key points, get to the relevancy, and move on, right? So there's many different ways to do that. You do not have to do it in a meeting. I can't stress that enough. You don't always have to have a meeting to put information out there. That's why you have bulletin boards. That's why you have email. That's why you have official chat channels, right? There are many different ways to get information put out there. And some of the best ways you can get information out to the team is to do a like a pre-workday huddle, like right in the morning, right before you guys start getting after it, just to refresh on what the daily objectives are, what the daily goals are, and what the overall goals are. And then at an end of the day, kind of check in, close out, just to say, hey, did we hit what we wanted to hit? Did we accomplish what we needed to accomplish? And what do we need to do going into the next day? And what's relevant, right? So if it could wait, put it out there later. Or if it's very not pertinent, it's just like, hey, this is good information to have. Put an email and don't mark it with any sense of urgency. Just say, hey, try to get to this by the end of the week, but it's not that important. It's okay to say things are not that important, right? There's different levels of information when they need to get out there. So make sure you're controlling that, you're controlling the information flow, and you're putting out what's pertinent to the team members, right? You want to give them all the information, but you don't want to overload them with it either. Anything that needs a decision, you need to put that as, hey, this requires a decision, this requires this people's input, and give your leaders and managers time to collect that information and give a solid thing. I get it. It does happen sometimes. There's some very ad hoc, off the cuff things that come up. It does happen, right? This is where you really have to trust those leaders and managers to give you a solid answer right then and there. Again, it does happen. So it's not to say, hey, sometimes you can't give them a few days, right? So just make sure that you're doing it effectively, you're doing it efficiently. Get to the point. Hey, what is the issue? What are you trying to resolve? What's the decision that needs to be made? And then go from there, right? You're pretty good managers and you're really good leaders. They're going to probably give you two to three courses of action. Say, hey, this is the one I would say is the best, but you have these other two options based on other information that they may not have at the time, right? You as a leader, once you get that, don't dwell on it too long, right? Collect the information, make a decision, right? Sometimes leaders, we can get, analysis paralysis, right? It happens. You get so much information, you're so afraid to make the decision because you're worried about making the wrong decision that you don't make a decision at all, or you don't make one timely enough, right? A decision is better than no decision. So don't delay, get the information, and then move forward, because you could always adjust and pivot if you've set your teams up properly. So don't be afraid to make a decision and pivot later if you must, right? So just kind of things we'll talk about a little later, further discussions down the road about, making those 75%, 80% decisions, what to do if it's not the right decision, all that. But hey, it's nothing to stress over. It's nothing to break down on. So just want to get that out there, see how you guys are doing with your information flow. What are some of the ways you are getting effective communication out there? And I highly encourage you leaders, go out there and talk to your people. Communication is a two-way street. your people need to be able to feel comfortable coming to you with information, whether it be gripes and complaints, whether it be compliments, whether it be like, hey, I have an idea that might make things a little better, a little easier, a little more efficient. Because sometimes, most more times than not, the best ideas are going to come from the people actually doing the work. And usually it's not a big deal to change, adjust, or upgrade what they're telling you to do. And it usually plays dividends. So listen to what they have to say and what they recommend. All right, guys. Always here if you need me. Love communicating with you guys. Love talking with you guys, hearing what you're doing out there. Let me know how I can help you in any way, shape, or form. You guys are part of my team, and I want to make sure that we're all moving and learning and growing together. All right, guys. Stay good.